Well, first and foremost, Maria, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show, and Natalie for you to be translating for us.
Muchas gracias, María Antonia, por estar en este programa y, bueno, a mí por traducir.
Gracias a ti por la invitación y por darle la oportunidad a latinas de compartir contigo.
Thank you for the invitation and for giving the opportunity to Latin women to be in this space.
Of course, of course. So, where are you guys located in?
¿Dónde estás ubicado?
En Ciudad de Panamá, Centroamérica, cerca de Costa Rica. Acá es el Istmo.
So we are in Panama City in Central America, near Costa Rica. This is the Isthmus of Panama.
And how is the bodybuilding or fitness industry or scene in Panama?
¿Cómo está la comunidad de bodybuilding y fitness aquí en Panamá?
Es una comunidad que en este momento se encuentra muy dividida, en pausa.
It's a community that right now is very divided and in pause.
No hay una federación específica, están comenzando a iniciarse eventos privados.
There is not a specific federation for this type of community. They are starting to do private events.
Entonces los atletas estamos buscando oportunidad en el exterior.
So the athletes are looking for opportunities abroad.
So where would you? So I know just from talking to other people that Brazil is very, has a large community of like bodybuilding of different divisions. Where would you go if you're in Panama and you wanted to compete? Would you go to Brazil or somewhere else?
Dice que sabe que en Panamá, en Brasil, hay una comunidad bien larga, bien grande de bodybuilding. Entonces, por lo menos los panameños que hacen van a Brasil o van a otro país.
En este momento nos encontramos participando en el primer calendario NPC de Latinoamérica.
So right now they are participating in the first calendar NPC of Latin America.
Comenzó con México, Colombia, Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina.
It started with Mexico, Colombia, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Argentina.
Por ubicación geográfica nos queda mejor Colombia y México.
Because of where we are located is better for us, Colombia and Mexico.
Todos los atletas están en este momento enfocados en apegarse a ese calendario NPC.
So now all the athletes are concentrated in focusing in this NPC calendar.
Interesting. So what made you get into training? Like what made you start working out?
¿Por qué decidiste empezar a hacer ejercicio y entrenar? ¿Qué te hizo empezar?
Soy deportista desde pequeña. Comencé con natación y baloncesto.
I have been practicing sports since I was little. I started with swimming and basketball.
Comencé específicamente con las pesas en el 2017.
I started weightlifting in 2017.
Y por mejorar, soy entrenadora personal, y por mejorar precisamente mi parte profesional fue que comencé a ser más enfocada en lo que es el entrenamiento de pesas como tal.
I'm a personal trainer and looking to improve my professional part. I started with the weightlifting part.
Got it. So was there somebody that was there someone that you looked at and you said, oh, I wanted to, how can I ask this question? Was there someone that motivated you to lift weights, or did you just thought about it one day, like I need to get, stronger, or how did that happen?
¿Hay alguien que viste y te motivó para que empezaras a levantar pesas o simplemente dijiste que quiero ser más fuerte?
No, fue un rechazo laboral porque me veía muy joven para lo que decía mi hoja de vida, mi currículum.
So what motivated me was someone that rejected me and while I was looking for work because I look very young for what everything that I have in my resume.
Era bastante delgada, mi aspecto era muy delgado y yo quería mejorar eso, lo que era masa muscular y un aspecto un poco más atlético.
I was very thin and I wanted to improve what was my muscular mass and look a little bit more athletic.
At what point did you start training other people? So you started lifting weights and, you know, you started to get a better physique and so forth. And at what point in that progression that you decided I want to teach other people how to do this, if that makes sense?
¿En qué punto decidiste empezar a entrenar a otras personas? O sea, empezaste a utilizar pesas y demás, y entonces en qué punto dijiste voy a entrenar a otras personas.
En realidad comencé como entrenadora personal en el 2012, mucho antes de comenzar pesas para mí. Y
I started as a personal trainer in 2012, way before starting doing weightlifting.
I see. Okay.
Cambiarme a pesas para mí como tal fue parte solo de este rechazo a nivel laboral, pero ya lo hacía para otras personas.
Starting to do weightlifting for me personally was just part of a process due to that work rejection that I just wanted to start.
Es parte de la consecuencia de ser emigrante, de llegar a un nuevo país y tener nuevos retos.
It's part of the consequences of being a migrant, moving to a new country and having to face new challenges in the workforce.
Yeah, I understand. You know, we talked earlier on Instagram, but I myself I'm from former Soviet Union, but from Ukraine, so I understand those challenges. But so I saw some pictures that you did compete. When did you decide to actually start thinking about stepping on stage and competing?
Vi unas fotos de que competiste y dice que cuando fue que dijiste voy a montar en un escenario y competir.
Fue casualidad, fue en el gimnasio, me vieron entrenando, vieron mi condición física, mi transformación física y alguien me habló de que existía este deporte.
It was something that just happened. Someone saw me training in the gym, saw how I was built, my condition and everything, and they asked me if I wanted to compete in the sport.
Ahí investigué sobre de qué se trataba, cómo funcionaba el deporte, empecé a estudiarlo.
Then I decided to investigate, to do my research about the sport, how you could start doing it and how you could train for it, and then I started.
Y me tropecé con Ashley Kalwasser. Ahí me enamoré del deporte y dije, vamos a hacerlo.
And I found Ashley Kalwasser and I fell in love with the sport and said, I'm going to do it.
It's funny, but so many girls in the bikini division that started because of Ashley Kaltwasser. Like I've had several shows with other people that said that because of her, they saw her that motivated them to start.
Mi esposo la ama, yo la amo, mis amigas la aman porque no solo lo que es a nivel deportivo, sino lo que es a nivel de persona.
Her husband loved her, her friends love her, because not only how she is competing, but also like personality-wise, like she has a really beautiful personality.
And so when you started competing, did you being a coach, did you coach yourself or did you have somebody else coach you?
Cuando empezaste a competir, ¿tú te coachaste o tenías a alguien entrenador?
Alguien me entrenó y al principio no fue precisamente una persona que lo hizo de manera seria, no me tomó muy en serio.
Someone trained me, and when I started, it was someone that didn't took me seriously.
De hecho, esa primera experiencia me trajo cosas positivas y cosas negativas.
That first experience brought me positive and negative things.
Allí, eso me llevó a buscarme a un atleta, a un entrenador profesional que sí me tomara en serio y que trabajara conmigo por más tiempo.
That made me look for someone, a professional athlete that took me seriously and could train me for a longer time.
Entonces fue donde formalmente comencé a trabajar con un entrenador preparado en el deporte como tal y en la división bikini.
That's when I started to train with a trainer that was professional, that was that had the knowledge of the sport and that knew what I needed for my division, for the bikini division.
Is when you said that they didn't take you, or there was some negative experience that they didn't take you seriously, was there something more, or just that they weren't focused? Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
¿A qué te refieres con que no te tomaron en serio? ¿Era como que no lo hicieron bien o que no estaban enfocados con entrenar?
Fueron varios aspectos. Uno de ellos era que a veces el coach faltaba y yo no.
There was many aspects. One of those was that sometimes the coach, the trainer didn't train and I came to the training.
En el aspecto de nutrición, cuando me involucré un poco más, me di cuenta de que estaba haciéndome daño a mi salud.
Also, in the nutritional side, when I began to study a little bit more, I realized that I was harming myself health-wise.
Y me di cuenta de que no había una planificación en lo que estábamos haciendo. Realmente había demasiada parte empírica.
So there wasn't, he didn't have a plan. It was a lot of self-taught. It was self-taught, and he was just planning along.
Got it. Yeah, it's so important in the fitness industry to have a really good coach because you know, you're dealing with your health, and so like anytime you're dealing with your health, it's, you know, you can really, you know, hurt yourself if you listen to the wrong coach. I've had several people, you know, tell me they've had, you know, bad coaches. There's a lot of them in this industry.
Muy importante en esta área tener a un buen coach porque hay mucha gente que se ha lastimado por tener un mal coach, alguien que no sabe. Él conoce a mucha gente que se ha lastimado, entonces dice que es sumamente importante tener a alguien que sepa sobre el materia.
Bueno, de hecho, ese periodo terminó en un problema no solamente en un desequilibrio nutricional, sino también en un desequilibrio emocional.
Yeah, in fact, that period ended in not only an health, a physical imbalance, but also in an emotional imbalance.
How did you recover specifically from like the emotional imbalance?
¿Cómo te recuperaste específicamente del desbalance, ese desequilibrio emocional?
Allí fue clave la ayuda de mi entorno, mi esposo y una de las marcas de ropa que me apoyaba en algunos eventos acá en Panamá.
It was key, the support that I have of my husband and also of one of the clothing brands that support me here in Panama.
Ellos fueron quienes me ayudaron a buscar ayuda a nivel de psicólogo y también a nivel de este nuevo coach más preparado.
They were the ones who helped me look for help from a psychologist and also from a trainer that was duly prepared.
Eso fue un periodo aproximadamente de 3 a 4 meses para recuperarme.
It was a period of about 3 to 4 months that I needed to recuperate.
So for 3 to 4 months, that was going to be my other question. So it took about 4 months, 3 to 4 months. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a long time to, to be in a unbalanced, emotional state. So once you recover, like how many shows have you done at this point?
Can you repeat the question?
How many NPC shows have you done at this point?
Cuando te recuperaste, ¿cuántos shows habías hecho
Dos campeonatos privados acá en Ciudad de Panamá y mi primer NPC fue ahorita en junio.
So I have done two private competitions here in Panama, and the first NPC tournament that I went to was in Colombia in June.
Esta es la primera temporada que tiene la NPC y pues yo aproveché la oportunidad.
This is the first season that the NPC has, and I just took advantage of the opportunity.
How many competitors did you go up against? Since it's first season, I'm curious on how many competitors showed up.
¿Contra cuántos competidores tuviste que competir en esta primera temporada?
Evaluaron como alrededor de, en mi categoría específica, éramos alrededor de 6 chicas en stage.
In my category, it was around 6 girls in stage.
Pero wow. La categoría bikini como tal, éramos alrededor de 25 chicas, 20 chicas.
But in the Bikini division, it was around 20 to 25 girls.
Okay. I imagine it's probably going to grow as it gets, bigger as the seasons continue.
Se imagina que probablemente va a crecer a medida de que continúe esta temporada.
Sí, seguro, porque cuando hubo la oportunidad de asistir al Mr Olympia antes de la pandemia.
Yeah, for sure, because when there was the opportunity to go to the Mr Olympia before the pandemic,
también se realizaba este campeonato en Colombia y el número de participantes excedía 50.
This championship was also done in Colombia, and the number of competitors was about 50.
How difficult, now that you brought up the pandemic, it made me think how, in a lot of places, gyms were shut down. Here, gyms were shut down for a while. How difficult was it for you to train yourself and others during that time?
Ahora que mencionaste la pandemia, él quiere saber, porque él sabe que muchos lugares se cerraron. Entonces, ¿cuán difícil fue entrenar tú y entrenar también a otros durante este tiempo de pandemia?
Entrenar a otras personas, es decir, seguir ejerciendo como personal trainer, realmente no fue difícil.
So training other people, doing my job as a personal trainer wasn't that hard.
Ya junto con mi esposo, contábamos con el desarrollo de una plataforma y de los medios porque ya teníamos clientes en otros países fuera de Panamá.
Me with my husband already have a platform, and we already have clients in another country, so we already had that way of working with them.
Sin embargo, para mi entrenamiento propio sí me vi afectada porque realmente el confinamiento acá se llevó como 9 meses, 8 meses.
But for me personally, for my training, I was affected because the shutdown here was for around 9 months.
Y eso me afectó muchísimo a nivel emocional. Por más que entrenaba acá, un entrenamiento diferente en casa, a nivel emocional me afectó muchísimo estar encerrada.
And that affected me a lot because even though I train a lot at home, it affected me emotionally to stay here, to be confined.
Yeah, it's from a mental aspect. Yeah, I understand. It's a lot of people have gone through that. Did it show in her physique? You know, sometimes people gained a lot of weight during that time. Did she see any differences in her physique from just constantly being at home and having that mental pressure?
¿Viste algún cambio en, por lo menos en tu físico? Por lo menos dice que muchas personas ganan peso o, bueno, pierden músculo. O sea, ¿viste algún tipo de cambio por esa presión mental y emocional que tuviste?
Sí, incluso no solamente cambió la parte física, porcentaje de grasa subió, la composición corporal cambió.
Yeah, not only my my fat mass went up, my body percentage changed.
También la parte emocional afectó a que hubiese más ansiedad y más necesidad de dulces, carbohidratos.
The emotional part affected the anxiety that I had, so I went for sugars, carbs, and all that food.
Seguía el entrenamiento, pero fíjate que esto era insoportable, no se podía manejar.
I continued training, but it was unbearable. I couldn't manage it.
Yeah. Well, it's good that that we're out of it now. Everything is opened up in Panama. I mean, I know some places COVID cases have been rising again. Is Panama still open?
Sí, ya todo abrió en Panamá, porque sabe que ahí los casos han estado subiendo en bastantes lugares y ya todo está de vuelta a la normalidad, abierto.
Sí, prácticamente todos los gimnasios están abiertos ya, pero tardó en activarse muchas cosas. Había que entrenar hasta hace un par de meses con tapabocas todavía.
Yeah, almost everything is now open. Most of the gyms are working back normally, but up to last month, we still had to train with face masks.
Okay, interesting.
Lo hacía más difícil no solamente para las personas que no eran atletas, sino para nosotros que somos atletas.
Which made it difficult for those who are not athletes and also to us that are athletes as well.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine it's hard. I did it a couple of times, but I imagine it's hard on your breathing when you're trying to work out, you know, aggressively and you have a mask in front of you.
Lo hizo un par de veces y se imagina que es bastante duro entrenar con una mascarilla y más por lo que es la respiración.
Bueno, toda mi preparación para el NPC en Medellín fue escondiéndome para que no me vieran que me quitaba la mascarilla en el gimnasio.
All my preparation for the NPC in June in Colombia was hiding in the gym, so they couldn't notice that I took off my face mask.
No se podía entrenar duro con eso.
Because I couldn't train hard with that face mask.
Did she bring it down to her chin like some people that I see? Yeah.
Aquí siempre venía alguien.
Always in my chin, and whenever someone came, I put it on.
Got it. So back to the competitive part. Does Maria have like what's her next step? Like, does she have a show that she's planning on doing?
Ahora de vuelta a la parte competitiva, ¿cuál es tu siguiente paso? ¿Vas a ir a un show? ¿Qué planes hacer?
Justamente ayer hicimos un nuevo proyecto y nos estamos preparando para el cierre del calendario que es en el mes de diciembre.
So yesterday we planned the end of a project and we are preparing for the end of the calendar that is on December.
Aún no tenemos específico el país, pero están fechas que coinciden con Paraguay y México.
They don't know what country exactly it will be, but they have dates that coincide with Paraguay and Mexico.
Sería mi primera participación en un Pro Qualifier.
It will be my first participation in a Pro Qualifier.
That's exciting. Go ahead, Namsa. Yeah. So how hard is it for you to go to another Hispanic or Latin American country? Do you have to get visas or anything, or is it pretty easy?
¿Cuán duro es para ti ir a otro pánico, por lo menos en un país latinoamericano, tienes que conseguir visas o qué papel tienes que hacer.
Bueno, en realidad es difícil. Lo primero porque es difícil es porque soy venezolana y los venezolanos en este momento son sinónimo de alerta para cualquier país.
So it's hard for me because I'm Venezuelan, and for the Venezuelans right now is synonym of alert for any country.
Los países creen que todos los que viajamos nos vamos a quedar, estamos emigrando.
So every country thinks that all the Venezuelans that travel, they want to stay in that country.
Son muchos los países que están pidiendo visa, por ejemplo, México es uno de ellos, Paraguay no.
There are a lot of countries that are asking for visa. Mexico is one of them. Paraguay doesn't ask for one.
I see.
Y a nivel económico como tal, depende, es más de la temporada, si festivo, si es temporada alta, si es temporada baja.
And money-wise, it depends more on what season it is. If it is high season, high traveling season, or low traveling season, like that will affect the economic part.
That makes sense. That makes things a little bit more difficult, especially when you're, you have something that you love to do so much, and politics and economy gets in the way.
Eso en verdad, o sea, lo hace mucho más difícil porque trabajas tan duro y lo que es la política y economía se mete en el camino.
Siempre existe la posibilidad para nosotros de que en última instancia un país cambie sus reglas y nos exija visa.
Yeah, there's always a possibility that at last minute a country changes its rules and asks for us for a visa.
Ya les ha pasado a varios atletas venezolanos.
It has happened before to a lot of Venezuelan athletes.
I see. I would be concerned, and we're kind of going a little bit off topic, but I would be concerned that, or I should ask, is there a concern that you leave and you can't come back into Panama?
¿Tienes alguna preocupación de que te vayas de Panamá y no puedas regresar y volver a entrar a Panamá?
No, en Panamá tengo mi residencia y puedo entrar y salir. En realidad el temor es al país que voy, que no me dejen entrar a mi competencia.
So no, in Panama I have the residency, so I can leave and come back.
I see.
I'm more afraid of going of the country I'm going to, that they will ask for a visa and they are not going to let me compete.
I see. So come talk about the actual competition now. Has she, Maria, have you thought of ever competing in another division, or have you always just had your sights on bikini? I know wellness is very popular in the Latin communities.
Ahora volviendo a la competencia, ¿has pensado alguna vez en competir en alguna otra división además de la de bikini? Porque sabe que en la de wellness es por lo menos muy popular en lo que es la comunidad latinoamericana.
En realidad no. Creo que conozco muy bien mi cuerpo, mi forma, y creo que tengo las características correctas para sacarle mayor provecho a la división de bikini.
Not really, because I know well my body, my form, and I think that I have the specific characteristics needed to take fully advantage of that bikini division.
Además me siento muy cómoda en la división, me gusta muchísimo.
I also feel very comfortable in this division. I really like it.
What do you think about the bikini division now? I don't know how much you keep up with the Olympia and the Arnold and things like that. Do you think the girls are getting too big for bikini at the higher levels, or you feel like they're in a good place?
¿Qué piensas de la división bikini ahora mismo? Sabe que tienes al tanto de lo que está pasando en Olympia, en el Arnold, y no piensas que se ven las chicas que están participando, piensas que se están poniendo muy grandes para esa división, o qué es lo que piensas?
Creo que el glúteo se ha convertido en el protagonista número 1 de la división.
I think that the glute has become in the number one the main character of the division.
Más allá del tamaño, está tomando fuerza lo que es el tiempo que tienes entrenando, pues el físico de hoy es un físico de madurez muscular.
More than the size is the time that you take training it, because the physique of today is a mature physique.
Mhm.
Más allá del tamaño, creo que es importante que en mi opinión, se está manteniendo la bikini delgada, pero se le está dando más fuerza a ciertos músculos, glúteo, el V-shape.
More than the size, I think that they are focusing more on that elongated bikini, that lean bikini, and they're focusing more in the glute, in the V shape.
Yeah, I see your point. So to kind of pivot now a little bit to your business, does your husband also compete with you?
Dice que ya para ir más a lo que es tu business, tu negocio, tu esposo, you ask if he also competes.
Yeah, does he also compete?
Si él también compite o entrena.
No, y no quiere absolutamente nada con competición. No, dice, contigo es suficiente.
He doesn't want to do anything with the competition. He said that only that with me is more than enough.
Él cree que dos personas en ese régimen tan exigente, no pueden vivir juntas.
He says that two people in that regimen that asks of you a lot cannot live together.
I understand. The reason I ask is because I saw his, I believe I saw his pictures on Instagram. He's got a very good physique, so that's why I asked.
Dice que te preguntó porque él cree que vio sus fotos en Instagram y vio que tiene un buen físico, entonces por eso te preguntó.
Bueno, buen punto. Parte de la motivación fue mi transformación. Lo motivó a él a querer algo más, porque era muy soft, él era muy light.
That's a good point, because part of her motivation and transformation motivated him to try a little bit harder, to work a little bit harder, because he was like too soft.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Well, you had a good influence on him. That's good.
Una buena influencia, eso es bueno.
So can you talk a little bit about your training platform and business? Like, what is it called? What kind of clients do you take?
¿Puedes hablar un poquito más de tu negocio, de la plataforma de entrenamiento que tienes y qué tipo de clientes atiendes?
Sí, claro. Me enfoco en una población que no tiene experiencia o tiene muy poca experiencia haciendo ejercicios.
I focus in a client that has no experience or very little experience on working out.
Parte de mi propósito es enseñar a las personas a hacer ejercicio. No solamente entrenamiento de fuerza con máquinas en gimnasio, sino entrenamiento de fuerza con bandas, ligas, con su propio peso.
Part of my mission is to show people how to work out not only at the gym, but also with your own body weight, using bands, stretch.
Acá en Latinoamérica el ejercicio físico es algo difícil de adquirir como hábito debido a nuestras costumbres de mucho trabajo, poca agenda, somos madres.
Here in Latin America, it's a little bit hard to include in your schedule to work out because of our working schedule, a lot of work, because we are also moms.
Por eso la plataforma que creé es específicamente para mujeres mayores de 35 años.
That's why the platform I created is specifically for women older than 35.
Que desean mejorar su salud entrenando desde casa con sesiones de entrenamiento menos de 1 hora.
That want to improve your health, training from home in sessions that last less than 1 hour.
El enfoque principal es precisamente ganar salud, mejorar las características contra el sedentarismo, alejarnos de las enfermedades.
the main focus is to improve the health, get them moving, and also reduce the risk of certain health problems.
Does she, Maria, do you, well, I'm sorry, I lost my track of thought there for a second. Do you, like, what's the biggest issue that comes up when you with your clients? Like, what do people want most of the time? Is it losing weight? Is it putting on muscle? Like, why do people tend to come to you?
¿Cuál es lo que más te preocupa, como el mayor problema que tiene tu cliente? Que quieren perder peso, quieren ganar musculatura, o sea, ¿cuál es el mayor problema que te piden atacar, ayudar?
Si lo vemos simple, sería perder peso.
If we look at it solely, it will be losing weight.
Pero realmente cuando hablas con ellas les preocupa su salud los próximos años porque piensan en sus hijos, su familia.
But when you talk to them, what they are really worried about is your health, because they think about your children, your family.
Esa parte emocional es la más importante para toda la población femenina que atiende.
That emotional part is the most important one for all the women, all the clients that I have.
Do you do it? Do you give them a plan, or do you exercise with them? If you understand what I mean.
¿Tú le das un plan o simplemente tú entrenas con ella diariamente? ¿Cómo funciona?
Hay dos tipos de servicios. Está el entrenamiento a domicilio, donde yo me encargo a darle el plan allí en vivo, uno a uno, personal.
So there are two types of services that I offer. The one is that I go to your houses and I give them your plans, your training one-on-one.
Y está el servicio que es a distancia, en donde sí les envío una planificación de entrenamiento específica para desarrollarla en casa, en gimnasio, al aire libre.
And there's another service that is online, that I send them their plan, a specific plan, and they can train at home, at the gym, or outside.
Y bueno, la plataforma son videos. Ahora.
We're good. We're good. She's about to have another heart attack.
Lo de la plataforma es una plataforma que tiene un programa de entrenamiento con videos pregrabados en donde salgo yo dirigiendo la clase de principio a fin. La persona solo necesita dar play y ahí lo vamos a dirigir en toda la clase.
And the platform already has videos with me that are already recorded, and the person only has to put play and do the workout.
Okay. Has she ever thought about training competitors, or is that a plan that she might have in the future?
¿Has pensado o tienes planes en el futuro entrenando a otros competidores?
Realmente no.
Not really.
I understand.
En la parte de motivación, eso sí, incluso ya me contactan varias chicas por las redes sociales como para, hey María, ¿cómo te fue a ti? ¿Qué me puedes aconsejar?
I see myself more in the motivational part. I already have girls contacting me on social media asking me, oh, how did I do? Like, what can I improve? And things like that.
I see. Posing is very big right now. Coaching for posing. Has she ever thought about that?
¿Has pensado en ser entrenadora para lo de las poses?
Eso sí me gustaría especializarme. Creo que es una buena manera de... Es lo que más me preguntan y es porque me desenvuelvo muy bien, pero eso ya es más seguridad.
That I will be interested in getting specialized in, because I really like that area, and I also feel that I do it very well. I already have people asking me for tips on how to pose and everything, But I think that a lot of the posing part is about security, being sure about yourself.
Mhm.
Creo que se necesita primero estudiar bien para asesorar en la parte de la normativa del deporte.
And I think that I really have to study well to know the rules of the sport, what is required.
Yeah, I understand. So Maria, to kind of close out our, our episode here, if somebody wanted to reach out to you for coaching, for another podcast or anything else, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Ya para cerrar, si alguien quisiera contactarte, ya sea para que le entrenes o para algún otro podcast, alguna otra entrevista, ¿cómo te pueden contactar?
Por vía de Instagram, @MA piso training con N, con doble N.
Okay, so via Instagram with @MA underscore training.
I was gonna say it's okay. You don't have to say it. I'm gonna put the links at the bottom of the video so people can just click on it and it's easy for them. So okay. And again, Maria, I appreciate so much for you coming on. Natalie, thank you so much for translating. Your English is very good. Did you learn it in school or did you live somewhere?
Oh, thank you. I learned it in school and also my family.
Okay.
I live in the States and my parents always.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Well, thank you both so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
Bye, Arby.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.